As gamers, we've been conditioned into never wanting to turn our backs on a fight. Well, most of the time anyway. But there are a few occasions when even we can't help but look at an enemy and just groan in dismay. And that's because there are some enemies in some games and franchises that for some reason or the other just touch a nerve in all of us. In this feature, we're going to be taking a look at 15 such enemies. Chickens in Zelda. Ah, the legendary chickens. A more famous Zelda mainstay than Ganondorf himself. We hate what they do to us if we whack them one too many times, and yet we can't resist doing it over and over anyway. The wrath of the Hyrule chickens is a fearsome thing, and if you anger these foul birds, not even the might of the Triforce can save you. Zubat, Pokemon. Zubats have ruined caves in Pokemon forever. Every cave, in every Pokemon game. It feels like every 3 steps you're attacked by a wild Zubat. Sure, there's the occasional Geodude and Onix and Roggenrola and what have you attacking you as well, but in places that are dark and damp, the Zubats reign supreme. Creepers, Minecraft. It didn't take long after Minecraft became a cultural phenomenon for creepers to explode in popularity as well. Get it? Explode? There's not a single Minecraft player on the face of the earth that doesn't absolutely hate these stealthy mobs. They creep up on you out of nowhere, true to their name, and they explode as soon as they get close to you. Just let us build in peace, creepers. Poisonous Headcrab from Half-Life. Headcrabs are a pretty formidable foe as it is, but when they come in poisonous form, you know you're in for a nightmare. Though they move about slowly at first, once they have a target in sight, they can be deceptively quick. The fact that they can make poison zombies makes them even more of a nuisance because, let's be honest, no one likes poison zombies much either. The Hunter, Left 4 Dead. All Special Infected are fearsome, formidable enemies in Valve's Left 4 Dead games, but the Hunter is probably the most hated of the lot. It preys on those who've unfortunately been separated from their squad mates, and its surprising speed and agility makes it an absolute nightmare to fight against. So do yourself a favor, and don't stray too far from your group. Ghostfish, Ninja Gaiden. A lonesome little ghostfish in and of itself isn't too much of a threat, but you're pretty much screwed if you ever chance upon an entire pack of them. Everyone hates an enemy that can attack and hurt you even if you're blocking, and that's exactly what a ghostfish is. In swarms, they can be deadly. Add to that the fact that they can swim through air, appear out of nowhere, and even hide in treasure chests, and it's not too hard to see why a whole lot of Ninja Gaiden fans absolutely hate them. Archvile, Doom. Doom's full of literal demons from hell, so there's no shortage of deadly beasts to fight against, but the Archvile can be an absolute pain in the enough to warrant a mention on this list above all others. Not only does it take a whole lot of hits to go down, but it can also summon flames to engulf you from a ridiculously long range, and even use a deadly attack to make you erupt once you've been engulfed in said flames, which then sends you hurtling away. Archvile, we know you're supposed to be a fiery demon from the depths of hell, but can you just chill out a little bit? Cenobia, Shadow of the Colossus. There are no regular enemies in Shadow of the Colossus, only bosses, and Cenobia is perhaps the one boss that has given a whole lot of trouble to a vast number of people who have played the game. He's got a single weak spot on his back, exposing his fur to use for climbing on top of him, which can take a lot of effort. And Cenobia is also a especially prickly colossus who rams pillars you're standing on top of like it's nobody's business. Sure, maybe we don't hate Cenobia, it's hard to hate any colossi, but we sure do still have nightmares about this fight. Banshees, Mass Effect 3. Mass Effect 3 really kicked things up a notch as far as enemy variety was concerned, and none of them was more a threat during combat than the Banshees were. Their blood-curdling screams are enough to give you immediate goosebumps, and they're no pushovers during fights either. They constantly teleport around the battlefield, making them a difficult target, and also forcing you to always keep moving, and boy do they hit hard. If you ever chance upon a number of them at the same time in a hectic firefight, one mistake is all it takes for it to be game over. Skulls, Metal Gear Solid 5. The skulls feel a little out of place in Metal Gear Solid 5 because this is a stealth game we're talking about here, and encounters against the skull unit more often than not end up being about, well, not stealth. There's also the fact that these encounters are unlucky enough to be the set-piece boss encounters of the game. Some of them anyway, and when you compare them to the incredible boss fights this series has always been known for, you can't help but be a bit disappointed by them. Lu Bu, Dynasty Warriors. Lu Bu has been a pain for many a Dynasty Warriors fan. Fighting against him feels like chucking rocks at a tank. Not literally, but that's how effective most of your attacks feel. This feels especially unfair because his own attacks can hit particularly hard. Sure, you can always swallow your pride and put it on easy mode to fight him off, but to do that, you need to swallow your pride. Cougar, Red Dead Redemption. Wildlife can be a dangerous thing in Red Dead Redemption, and no animal exemplifies that better than the cougar. Unfairly quiet and incredibly agile, cougars can sneak up on you and take you by surprise with amazing effectiveness. Though they're not all that common, once they do spot you, they can throw you off your horse with a single attack, and it doesn't take them too long to land their next hit. In fact, their attacks are so deadly that they can kill both you and your horse in very few moves. Bed of Chaos, Dark Souls. Boss fights in Dark Souls are hard, in case you hadn't heard. But the Bed of Chaos is an especially difficult one. It's got a range of attacks that have broad and sweeping hitboxes, making them a bit hard to evade, while the combat arena itself can also be pretty treacherous. Its attacks can be blocked, sure, but that eats a huge chunk of your stamina, which makes subsequent blocks a little harder to pull off. Lunatic, Batman Arkham Asylum. There isn't much that can pose a serious threat to the Batman, but the lunatics found in Arkham Asylum were absolutely a threat. Nope, scratch that, they were a damn nuisance. They can latch onto you and stick to you like leeches, making you all the more vulnerable, while they're also surprisingly resilient, with there only being a few particular moves that can be used to take them out for good. Mimics, Dark Souls. All Dark Souls players are united in their disdain for the treacherous mimics. There you are, walking along calmly after a good old life-threatening boss fight, one that probably killed you a dozen times at least before you beat it. You see a chest, and your eyes light up as you hope to find something good inside. But you don't find something good inside. What you find is razor-sharp teeth, a disgusting tongue, and spindly, horrifying limbs. And that wraps it up. If you like what we're doing, please consider subscribing to our channel. We upload new videos daily. Also, don't forget to switch on the bell notification icon, that way you don't miss out on any of our videos.